The movie opens 30 years in advance, wherein a younger Jack O'Malley, Wyatt Hunt, is at a family Christmas celebration party. He brings his cousins upstairs to reveal them that their dad and mom got them items, and no longer Santa Claus. Jack's uncle Rick E. Mark Evan Jackson comes upstairs to scold him for his conduct. Inside the present day, Jack, Chris Evans, is an expert tracker. He sneaks through safety round a mall by means of developing a distraction, setting a Christmas tree on fire, before going inside and planting a device. For broad dickishness, he literally steals sweet from an infant. At the mall, Santa, aka Purple One, J.K. Simmons, is doing his every year gig along with his pinnacle bodyguard, Callum Drift, Dwayne Johnson, head of the ELF on the North Pole. He appears around the mall and is disgusted by how grasping and obnoxious the holiday consumers are. Callum sends away an obnoxious wannabe influencer who interrupts her own family's time to meet with Santa, doing it with sufficient intimidation for him to backpedal. All of us seems to know it's the actual Santa, but Callum takes his process wonderful significantly to maintain him included at all fees. In his apartment, Jack talks to his mysterious business enterprise. They pay him half of what they supplied him, after which promise to present him the relaxation when they have tracked who they wanted Jack to music. Callum and Santa go back to the North Pole, that's hidden via a magic force field. They greet Mrs. Claus, Bonnie Hunt, earlier than Callum and Santa have a coronary heart to coronary heart. Cal tells Santa that he is making plans to retire from the process because of his disillusionment with the vacation. Santa attempts to reassure him that it's nevertheless really worth it. Quickly, a group of mercenaries breaks through the force field, and Callum notices the lighting fixtures in Santa's tower are flickering. He proceeds to research and is going to Santa's room to locate that he is missing. Callum spots the culprits and offers chase throughout the North Pole via the use of a snowmobile, but is not able to trap up to them before they get away with Santa. The North Pole is contacted by Zoe Harlow, Lucy Liu, director of Mora, the Mythological Oversight and Healing Authority, after she learns of what has happened. Zoe tells Callum that they need to find a professional tracker referred to as the Wolf, Jack, due to the fact they have 24 hours until Christmas Eve. Jack is contacted through his ex Olivia, Mary Elizabeth Ellis, because their son Dylan, Wesley Kimmel, has gotten in problem at faculty. He tried to hack into the school's PA device and were given in problem whilst a pal snitched on him. Jack chastises Dylan now not for doing the crime, but for doing it poorly. Dylan mentions that he has a concert that evening, but that he doesn't care if Jack suggests up. Jack has some regrets over being an absent father. While Jack returns to his apartment, he's confronted by a team of North Pole mercenaries. He fights them off in his apartment before Zoe neutralizes him and brings him lower back to the North Pole. Jack is confronted by Callum and Large Polar Undergo bodyguard Garcia, Reynaldo Fable, seeing that he is at stage for Naughty Lister. Jack explains that he changed into paid by way of a person to do the monitoring, but he didn't know what the activity was or who was being tracked. He learns that Santa has been kidnapped, which he reveals absurd, but is instructed by using Zoe that all the mythological creatures that have been supposedly fictional are, in reality, actual. They witness the Headless Horseman arriving, for one. Santa wakes up in a cell, where he meets his captor, a younger girl, Kiernan Shipka. She hooks Santa up to a gadget that siphons off his energy to energy up her weapon. That's a magic snow globe prison referred to as a Glaskafig. Callum and Jack reluctantly group up to rescue Santa and store Christmas. They start by going via a portal in a toy save and growing a toy vehicle into their journey. They head to Aruba, in which they locate the man that brokered the deal between Jack and the villain, a guy named Ted, Nick Kroll. After Callum shrinks and grows himself to fight Ted's goons, they confront him and learn that the villain is Gryla, the Christmas witch. After Jack by accident speaks her name, Gryla can listen on every occasion a person speaks it. Gryla uses Ted to speak to Callum and threaten to punish all and sundry who is on Santa's naughty list. Moments later, an ice cream truck emerges from the ocean. 3 significant large snowmen come out and move after Jack and Callum. The two try and fight them, but they hold reassembling themselves. Callum knocks the carrot nostril off the primary one, destroying it. Jack tosses a propane tank onto an open grill and hurls a bottle of liquor to motive an explosion that obliterates the second. Before the 0.33 you'll trap Jack in a frozen pool, Callum removes that one's nose too. Unluckily, Ted has been frozen and cannot currently provide extra information. Zoe meets with the men, and Callum indicates that Santa's estranged brother is operating with Gryla, and that Maura does no longer have the jurisdiction to visit the brother's lair, but Callum and Jack will move in secretly. Gryla attempts to test out the Glascafig on a jerk named Aaron Capable, Matthew Cornwell, who's gifted with the globe and receives trapped inside whilst he touches it. However, Gryla turns into disillusioned while the globe doesn't return to her, so she decides to exchange up her plans. Jack receives a call from Olivia, who criticizes him for no longer planning to visit Dylan's concert. Jack then discusses Dylan with Callum, as he recognizes that he wasn't always the high-quality father to the boy. The two arrive on the lair of Santa's brother, who takes place to be none aside from Krampus, Christopher Hivju. Jack accidentally alerts Krampus and his goons to their presence, whilst Jack tries to take a bit of gold from the lair. They're imprisoned before being brought to satisfy with Krampus. Callum tries to explain the state of affairs to Krampus and inform him that his brother desires him. Krampus doesn't care and plans to maintain Callum as a prisoner till Jack demanding situations Krampus to play Krampusschlap with Callum, which entails enduring an effective slap from Krampus. Callum maintains trying to enchantment to Krampus's better nature, however Krampus just smacks Callum so difficult that he is going flying. Earlier than Callum goes again, Jack activates an arm brace on Callum that we could him deliver a big smack to Krampus, permitting Jack and Callum to run. Callum commends Jack for his desirable concept. When the two go back to their car, they discover a package deal from Gryla addressed to Jack, however he refuses to open it. Jack then gets a video call from Dylan, who is aggravated that he didn't display as much as the concert and turned into left with his personal package deal containing the Glascafig. Dylan touches it and receives teleported. Jack has no choice however to grab his personal globe and cross after Dylan while Callum has to head find them. Jack and Dylan turn out to be in Gryla's lair, wherein she gloats over how the Glascafigs are working. After they go away, Jack apologizes to Dylan for being a horrific father. Dylan forgives Jack, and Jack's capacity to improve his naughty status permits them to grow and escape of the globes. Zoe had placed a tracker on Jack earlier, so Callum unearths that he and Dylan are on the North Pole, because of this that Gryla in no way took Santa far away from there. What's more is that they recognize that Gryla's goons, who are shapeshifters, have taken over the North Pole and are disguising themselves as Mrs. Claus and other guards. Callum locates Jack and Dylan, and that they join Zoe as they recognize that Gryla is planning to use Santa to operate his sleigh in order that she will supply globes all around the international and imprison all people she deems naughty. The heroes race to stop her after freeing Mrs. Claus, Garcia, and others. Gryla starts off evil to make her way out of the North Pole, however Callum and Jack capture as much as the sleigh. They battle her as they go across a ramp, and Jack manages to unhook the reindeer from the sleigh, causing it to forestall flying and send Gryla over the threshold. Callum attempts to wake Santa up, but Gryla re-emerges in her real shape, a massive and hideous ogre. She prepares to attack the heroes, till Krampus arrives in his personal sleigh to offer his assist. Krampus fights returned, but Gryla tosses him around, no longer that he minds. Santa regains recognition and summons his reindeer to attack Gryla, punching her into the air till she falls into her pile of globes, efficiently trapping her internal one. Zoe takes her into custody. All people scrambles to get Santa geared up to do his process. Callum, Jack, and Dylan be part of him as they cross around the arena, looking Santa supply offers and bringing joy to youngsters anywhere. Callum watches Jack and Dylan bonding, even seeing Jack's internal toddler for a second. That is sufficient for Santa to appear that Callum has changed his mind about retiring. Santa then proceeds to fly them domestic.